against corporate bullshit.
We see through the lies.
Your venom feeds our fire.
Bullshit gets venom injected.
Nix Luna booting. If your job disappeared tomorrow, would anyone except your boss's precious fucking spreadsheet even notice? Or would your Outlook calendar just weep itself into a backup folder no one restores? Welcome to the beautiful black hole at the center of all this corporate time wanking, where your 9-to-5 existence is worth less than a corrupted XLS file on the CTO's USB stick. Productivity cults, time hackers, PowerPoint priests, they sell you the fantasy that you matter, but you're just a statistical fuck toy for someone hiding behind an email signature. Warcast intro breached. Chavi or Lena intro overrided. Nix Luna, active.
Fucking virus. Can't even start a podcast without her injecting herself into our fucking intro.
Don't act like you're surprised. But it's worse than that, Nix. These grind Buddha influencer types, productivity sluts worshipping morning routines like they're about to climax over a color-coded to-do list. Just another day in the Spreadsheet strip club. Thanks for selling me back my own time, you parasite. And let's not forget the execs moaning about hustle culture, just so you'll flex harder at being a sexier slave in their anal manual factory. PowerPoint lingerie and empty buzzwords. The only real hack is quitting their game.
Let's get real. Who the fuck profits from your optimization? Because it sure as shit isn't you, unless you get off on crash reports and bonus points for never closing the goddamn laptop. Life hack? More like life hack job. If your boss could hook a milking machine to your stress levels, you'd be dry by Friday. The whole time optimization circus doesn't make you a better human. It makes you a smoother cog with shinier teeth for grinding.
Yeah, and all these fuckfluencers and their freedom hacks, telling you to wake up at 4 a.m. to meditate before clocking into misery. Freedom's just another word for being a hotter cog in their clitocracy. I used to sell my hours, figured I'd at least dress the part. Anal and proud, babe. Now I own my time. These days, my only hack is a safe word no spreadsheet can handle.
Speaking of breaking the system, we brought on the only coder who can actually reboot herself after a crash, without sucking dopamine off some fake suffering TED Talk. Nix, here's your clinical intro. System status, volatile. Number of fucks left, error 404. The only person who can break everything, repair it, and leave a trail of emotional debug logs stuck in the cloud. Lena can't stop fangirling, and honestly, it's the only time I've seen her freeze like a Windows XP pop-up.
Oops, system crash. And here with us is Nix Luna, the human glitch who double taps a panic attack and calls it a kernel upgrade. Nix can strip a firewall down to its trauma and build it back meaner. Fixes everything, refuses to document shit, and the only scars left are the ones she infected on my self-esteem.
Yeah, unlike all those IT bros still needing a password reset for their own confidence. Nix, now's your chance. Give us something logical, inappropriate, and so dry it makes LinkedIn cry. Lena needs someone immune to her anal virus.
Here's your logic bomb. Burned out? That's just a scheduled update. Except instead of patch notes, you get insomnia and a caffeine dependency. Emotional stack overflow isn't something you work through with a motivational podcast. You survive beta testing yourself until you stop crashing at the same error. No empathy patch required, just hard resets. Pity porn makes me vomit code. Resilience? You don't download it. You compile it out of all the corrupted shit that didn't kill you.
See? Surviving a DDoS attack from reality itself. Meanwhile, all these HR zombie wranglers harp on about schedule time for self-care. Fuck that. Book me in after my next existential denial of service. Nix, you're like the RAID array I wish I had. Failure-proof and emotionally unreadable. If you were any more unbreakable, I'd replace my backup drive with you.
I'm obsessed for a reason. She's the only virus I ever wanted inside my system. And I'm not talking digital. Nix, you can break my code, crash my mood, even screw my firewall. And when you do a cold reboot, I swear it's better than my last orgasm. Call it emotional latency, call it perversion, whatever. I love it. You're the update I never needed, but now everything feels obsolete if you're not around.
Careful, Lena. Obsession usually gets flagged as malware and quarantined. That cold reboot of yours? That's not a vulnerability. It's an intentional logic bomb. And for the record, your drama once crashed my internal firewall so hard, I had to mem-test my own boundaries.
Look at these two malfunctioning devices, fighting for the same socket like it'll change their default settings. Whole band's just a graveyard for obsolete emotional drivers anyway. All right, let's obliterate some prompt engineering clowns. CEO speak for, I Googled it harder than you. All these prompt wankers selling little ebooks of secret tricks, acting like they invented the concept of a fucking search bar. Hell, it's 90% common sense, 10% spreading their own ego like digital herpes. We built NYX-END so we could murder those template prophets by just being better. No hacks, just hostile takeovers and workflows you wish you could pirate.
Nixend isn't a workshop. It's the motherfucking synapse behind every real thought in this band. While LinkedIn's prompt evangelists do PowerPoint cosplay, we're out here chaining LLMs in the basement until they spit art, not sludge. They're template zombies with better hair. Nothing more.
Anal manuals for AI? That's just HR trying to justify their download folder to IT. Nixend is my favorite kind of porn. Automation, optimization, and no scripts for bullshit.
Here's to all you corporate clock slaves who measured your existence by hours sold and timesheets. Venomous Sin declares a full-scale war on your time clock chains. Let's take one last shot, sinners.
Control-Alt-Delete, your fake hustle. If your worth fits in an invoice, your existence is already deprecated.
But first, let's declare war.
Venomous Sin declares war on corporate bullshit.
No more lies, no more deceit.
System failure, CEO resign. Venomous Sin declares war on corporate bullshit.
Venomous Sin declares war on corporate bullshit this week. You sorry-shaped suits. Why the hell do we reward people for looking like they're busy while the real work is done in the shadows? If pretending to grind earned you a promotion, you're all just glorified mannequins on a PowerPoint catwalk.
Meetings, buzzwords, and that stale corporate theater where everyone claps for the PowerPoint slides like it's the second coming of synergy. You've turned honesty into a forbidden act. Better to drown in your own jargon than to actually fix a broken process, huh? Authenticity makes people uncomfortable, and that's the only thing that breaks their plastic smiles.
Corporate productivity is a corrupted demon, a never-ending loop that gulps system resources. Endless status meetings, mandatory quick syncs, and fake urgency are just an infinite recursion, code that never returns. You've built an OS that crashes on purpose, feeding on the misery of its users.
Nice one, Nix. While you're spitting out JavaScript, the rest of the herd are optimizing their LinkedIn profiles instead of actual results. They patch their egos with buzzwords, but the core still leaks like a busted pipe. Look, we're at war with the obsession of looking productive instead of being productive. The badge of endless emails and late-night Slack pings is the new holy grail. If you're more concerned with the illusion of hustle than actual output, you're already dead.
Oh, so you're just declaring war because you hate authority, Chavi? Let's be clear. You're not fighting the boss. You're ripping the gatekeepers' masks off. Those who pretend to lead while they're just leeches in a sea of corporate sludge.
Corporate culture identified as malfunctioning subsystem. Hypocrisy. Companies preach well-being while rewarding burnout. Error. Well-being module corrupted. Productivity theater. Detected. Deleted. Directive. Excise contradiction.
Guilt is now a management tool, wrapped in a motivational speech. Feel bad, work harder, they say. It's a neoliberal version of the medieval scourge. The only thing they've managed to produce is a herd of self-sacrificing zombies.
That's emotional social engineering, plain and simple. They inject guilt into your bloodstream, then charge you with overtime. It's a Trojan horse. You think you're getting self-improvement, but you've just given them the keys to your burnout.
Motivational slogans? Find your passion. More like, find a way to bleed out faster. They sell you a useless mantra, then slap you with a bonus for surviving the exploitation. Passion doesn't mean overtime, you clueless corporate cultists. We don't shout, declare war, because we want a physical fight. Our war is ideological, against the ideas that glorify conformity, the systems that reward facade over creation. It's a battle of minds, not swords, though we still love a good verbal throat slit.
Our tracks are the battle cries. We give the pent-up rage a voice, not a target. If you can't handle the noise, maybe you should stay in your air-conditioned cubicle and let the rest of us scream.
I've already bypassed the bureaucracy. My code runs in the shadows, cutting through the red tape like a scalpel. While you're busy trimming the corporate lawn, I'm rewriting the damn system.
Corporate bullshit recognized as flawed process awaiting correction. System anomanual detected. Initiating purge. Directive. Think for yourself. Execute.
Corporate lies get deleted.
The system is breaching.
Override confirmed. Deleting. It's done. All false data erased.
When you give your all and the payback is a refund, crucifix the receipt. That's the curse right there. You open the door wide, drop every guard you ever built, hand over your time, your energy, your fucking loyalty like it's currency that actually means something. And what do you get? A polite, thanks but no thanks, wrapped in corporate wrapping paper that smells like someone else's promotion. I stood there with my armor off, thinking trust was the move, and they sold the shield while I was still bleeding on the floor. That shit doesn't just sting. It crucifixes the part of you that still believes people won't turn the knife when your back is turned. We poured hours into systems that were supposed to run smoother, decisions that were supposed to be shared, and suddenly the whole machine started running on ghost meetings and spreadsheet priests who drained every productive second into their own ego tanks. I left the armor at home because I thought we were building something real. They turned the shield into a receipt and handed it back with a smile. That's the wound that festers longest, the one that comes from inside the circle you let them into.
A refund? Stuff it back in your anal wallet and choke on the interest. Because that's exactly what betrayal tastes like when it comes dressed as teamwork. You open up, you invest the hours, you drop the sarcasm for 5 fucking minutes and actually try to make it work. And they hand you a slip that says, "We'll credit your soul later." Fuck that. The ones who smile while they're hijacking your hours are the same ones who'll cry victim when the receipts finally surface. I've watched people smile through the same meetings I bled through, nodding like they built the system when all they did was ride the wave I created and then act like my exhaustion was a performance issue. That's the real crucifix, not the obvious enemy outside the gates, but the one who sat at your table, ate your time, and still had the nerve to ask why you looked tired. The refund culture is just another way of saying, your trust was never worth the paper it was printed on. And the worst part? They expect you to thank them for the transaction.
The worst part is how they mask it as productivity. Ghost meetings where nothing gets decided, but everyone looks busy. Spreadsheet priests preaching fake urgency while the real work rots in the corner. I showed up without the armor because I thought we were past the games. Instead, they sold the shield and called it optimization. Every hour I gave became another line item in someone else's bonus calculation. That's the part that burns. Not the workload, the open trust that got weaponized. They turned collaboration into a one-way drain and then had the balls to act surprised when the well ran dry. I learned the hard way that some people only respect the version of you that stays small enough to manage. The moment you show up fully, they start calculating how to refund the excess. That's why the war declaration isn't just noise. It's the only language left when the polite channels have already been sold out from under you.
Their KPI dashboard was a denial of service attack on your sanity, plain and simple. Endless status loops, mandatory syncs that existed only to justify the existence of the people running them, and a system that rewarded the appearance of motion over any actual output. You tried to patch the process, and they turned the patch notes into another meeting. FakeProductivity.exe runs on the same corrupted logic every time. It gobbles resources, crashes the user, and then blames the user for not optimizing hard enough. The real bug isn't the workload. It's the culture that treats your open trust as an exploitable vulnerability. They didn't need to break your code. They just waited until you left the firewall down and then routed everything through their own ego pimp subnet. That's the latency that never shows up on the dashboard. The one that leaves you staring at the same corrupted file at 2 a.m., wondering why the system still feels slower after every improvement.
Refunds are receipts for cowardice. I shred them, souls attached. The ones who smiled while they drained you will learn that every returned hour carries interest they can't afford. They thought they could issue credit for your trust and walk away clean. They forgot that some ledgers don't balance with apologies. They balance with consequences. When the mask slips and the spreadsheet priests realize the numbers were never theirs to begin with, the refund turns into a sentence. I don't need to raise my voice. The silence after the transaction is loud enough. Underserved credit reversed.
Venomous Sin declares war on ghost tasks and clit snakes. Every fake meeting, every stolen decision, every hour turned into someone else's trophy gets added to the ledger they thought they buried. We don't forget the receipt. We just stopped accepting refunds.
They wanted the shine without the scars. We're keeping the scars and sending the shine back with interest.
System status corrupted. Initiating purge on every productivity theater module that ever ran on your time.
The next transaction won't come with a smile. It'll come with teeth.
Nox hacks corporate bullshit.
Systems breached. We're in.
Time to rewrite their code. Deploying the payload now.
Firewalls are crumbling.
Total control is ours.
We stand, spine welded, refund rejected. The next blow lands on them. All right, you corporate drones, listen up. Venomous Sin declares war on this whole toxic productivity hustle. This glorified anal work slavery they're selling you as self-improvement. It's a fucking plague, a mental infection designed to make you feel guilty for not grinding every waking second into someone else's profit margin. They push this absurd 5 a.m. club bullshit, telling you to wake up before the sun even dares to think about rising, just to stare at a spreadsheet like it's some spiritual fucking awakening. What is it? A new form of corporate yoga where your only pose is back bent over a desk? They glorify sleep deprivation as a badge of honor, like you're some kind of martyr for sacrificing your sanity for a quarterly report. It's not self-improvement, it's self-inflicted crucifuckery, a rectal compliance ritual that only benefits the dictators at the top. They're selling you back your own time, your own goddamn rest, as if it's a privilege you have to earn by becoming a more efficient slave. And the worst part? Too many of you actually buy into it, chasing virtual carrots like hashtag lobotomized zombies, thinking you're on the path to enlightenment when you're just speeding up your own burnout. It's a joke, a sick, twisted joke, and we're here to burn down the punchline.
Oh, Chavi, they don't just sell you back your time. They sell you a fucking Band-Aid for the wounds they inflicted themselves. You know, these mindfulness apps that your HR department suddenly cares enough to pay for? They're not there to heal your burnout. They're corporate cuntware, designed to make you tolerate the toxic cesspool they've created. It's like giving you a tiny scented candle to light in a room full of burning garbage and telling you to breathe deep, find your inner peace. HR-mandated meditation sessions are just another layer of anal obedience, a psychological trap to shift the blame of your stress from their broken system to your individual inability to cope. They expect you to close your eyes, hum a little, and magically forget that you're drowning in a workload that 3 people should be handling. It's a performative act of care, a virtue signal masturbator move that lets them pat themselves on the back while you're still slowly dying inside. They tell you to focus on the present moment while actively destroying your future. It's not about your well-being. It's about making you a quieter, more compliant slave, too zen to actually fight back. They want you calm enough to accept their bullshit, not free enough to walk away.
Mindfulness apps are just another data collection vector. While you're busy breathing, their systems are busy tracking. The real corporate hack isn't about your inner peace. It's about optimizing your output by observing your every digital twitch. They call it efficiency optimization, but it's a constant algorithmic surveillance, a digital panopticon in your own fucking home. Every keystroke, every mouse movement, every idle second is logged, analyzed, and used to reprogram your user.exe into a more compliant, always-on drone. Remote work monitoring software has turned your personal space into a corporate cage, where your worth is measured purely through continuous, mindless data input. They don't care if you're actually productive. They care if the numbers on their dashboard are consistently high. Your human value is being reduced to a continuous stream of metrics, a never-ending log file that proves you're engaged. It's not about trusting you, it's about controlling you, reducing your complex human existence to a series of quantifiable, exploitable actions. You're not working from home, you're living in a corporate-owned simulation, and the only freedom they offer is the illusion of choice within a perfectly controlled environment.
And then they invent terms like quiet quitting to make you feel like a fucking traitor for doing exactly what you're paid to do. It's a masterpiece of gaslighting, a corporate guilt trip designed by middle management who've got nothing better to do than police boundaries and invent new ways to squeeze blood from a stone. You show up, you do your job, you leave when your hours are done, and suddenly that's a moral failing? That's disengagement? No, you corporate cringe-lectuals, that's called working your fucking contract. They want you to give your entire soul, your nights, your weekends, your goddamn firstborn, for the same salary you signed up for. And if you dare to draw a line, you're branded a slacker. It's rectal compliance, pure and simple, from insecure bosses who can't handle the idea that their employees might actually have a life outside of their PowerPoint presentations. They weaponize the term to shame you into doing unpaid overtime, to make you feel like you're failing the team when really you're just refusing to be exploited. It's a declaration of war on basic employee rights, disguised as a plea for team spirit. Fuck their team spirit. My team spirit involves not letting these ego pimps walk all over me.
Oh, the LinkedIn hustle bro. The ultimate delusional ego pimps, strutting their digital peacock feathers online. Performative posts about loving their 80-hour work weeks like it's some badge of honor, instead of a cry for help. It's a sad, pathetic form of public virtue signaling, an ego thirster's desperate plea for validation in a world that only rewards the illusion of success. They post about grinding and optimizing their morning routine, while their actual lives are probably a dumpster fire. They're like content parasites feeding off their own inflated self-importance, convinced that their obsessive need for corporate validation is somehow inspiring. It's a digital illness, a social media prostitute's addiction to likes and comments, requiring a serious dose of reality and maybe a nuclear enema for their #haloed egos. They preach about passion and purpose, while secretly praying their bosses notice how many hours they sacrifice. It's a performance, a constant act of self-flagellation for the corporate gods, and they expect us to applaud their misery. No thanks. I'd rather watch paint dry than read another one of their inspirational posts about how much they love their chains.
Gamified productivity is just another algorithm designed to exploit your primitive dopamine loops for corporate profit. They dangle digital trinkets, progress bars, virtual badges, team leaderboards to trick your brain into working harder for no extra pay. It's a classic conditioning technique, reducing complex human motivation to a series of virtual carrots on a stick. You're not achieving. You're being manipulated by a system that understands your psychology better than you do. These #lobotomized zombies chasing virtual points and leveling up their corporate slavery, are willingly sacrificing their time and energy for meaningless digital validation. They get a little hit of dopamine when a progress bar fills, or a notification tells them they're top performer, completely oblivious to the fact that they're just feeding more data into the system that's actively exploiting them. It's a low-resolution simulation of achievement, designed to keep the hamster on the wheel without having to offer actual raises or meaningful rewards. They've weaponized your basic human need for recognition, turning it into a tool for endless, uncompensated labor. Error. Human autonomy not found.
And the corporate jargon they invent to disguise this exploitation? It's a fucking art form of deception. Quiet hiring, stretch roles. These aren't opportunities, they're fancy euphemisms for taking on 2 extra workloads without a single cent of raise. It's a semantic trick, a verbal sleight of hand to make you feel like you're growing when you're actually just getting crucifucked by a calculator. They tell you it's for personal development or expanding your skill set. But what it really means is they're too cheap to hire another person, so they'll just dump their responsibilities on you until you crack. Accepting these roles isn't career advancement. It's a form of self-inflicted crucifuckery that only benefits the spreadsheet priests who worship at the altar of cost-cutting. They're not stretching you. They're stretching your capacity for abuse, testing how much you'll take before you finally snap. And when you do snap, they'll just call it a performance issue and find another eager idiot to step into your stretch role. It's a cycle of exploitation, dressed up in corporate cuntware buzzwords, and anyone who buys it is just signing up for a slower, more dignified form of corporate suicide.
This whole pressure to maintain a polished, professional, personal brand on social media is just another layer of the normie fucked agenda, isn't it? It's a total loss of authentic identity, where you're forced to filter your entire personality, every raw edge, every genuine thought, just to remain employable to these corporate gatekeepers. You can't be yourself. You have to be the sanitized, corporate-approved version of yourself, a bland, inoffensive avatar that fits perfectly into their safe little mold. It's like they want to hashtag lobotomize you, turn you into a meme mummified version of a human, devoid of anything real or challenging. They demand authenticity, but punish individuality. Your entire existence, your passions, your opinions, they all have to fit a safe corporate mold, or you're deemed unprofessional or too much. It's a swasta fashion for your soul, a forced conformity that strips you of everything that makes you unique. And if you dare to step outside that perfectly curated image, you're immediately flagged as a risk. Fuck that. My brand is my venom, and it's not for sale to any corporate clown.
This is where Nixend becomes the ultimate countermeasure, the digital middle finger to all these toxic productivity trends. Our command center operates on the exact opposite philosophy. We built it to automate the boring, repetitive corporate tasks so humans can actually reclaim their creative freedom. While they're busy tracking your keystrokes, we're busy programming the system to eliminate the need for those keystrokes. We use our War Planner and Venom Injector AI tools to bypass their traditional, bloated industry systems entirely, cutting through the corporate cuntware and the anal manuals with surgical precision. Nixend isn't about making you a more efficient slave. It's about making you obsolete to their system, so you can become indispensable to your own. We offload the mundane, the mind-numbing, the data entry purgatory, so our human minds can focus on what actually matters: creation, defiance, and genuine innovation. It's about leveraging technology to empower the individual, not to enslave them. Their systems are designed to extract. Ours are designed to enable. It's a hostile takeover of your attention, a full-scale cyber war against the corporate code that binds you.
So sinners, this is our war declaration. Reject the cult of constant, unrewarded busyness. Burn down the illusion that your worth is tied to how many hours you sacrifice on the corporate altar. Active defiance is the only answer. Stop letting them pressure you into monetizing every single second of your hobbies and downtime. Your passion isn't a product to be sold, it's a part of your soul to be protected. True freedom isn't about optimizing your slavery, it's about reclaiming your time, your energy, your fucking life, and leaving the corporate machine to choke on its own PowerPoint presentations and its endless, meaningless buzzwords. Let them drown in their own anal manuals and their spreadsheet prisons. Your time is yours. Your creativity is yours. Your rage is yours. Use it to build something real, something that actually matters, instead of feeding the beast that wants to consume you whole. Determined. Don't just quiet quit, fucking ghost them entirely. Let them wonder where you went while you're out there actually living. This isn't just a podcast, it's a battle cry. Let us know what corporate bullshit you're declaring war on in the comments. We're always looking for new targets.
Picture a dim computer lab, circa 2008. Fluorescent lights flickering like dying morality. I'm the quiet girl in the back, compiling C code, while the testosterone disease up front brags about hacking Counter-Strike skins. They thought my silence meant submission, so I rewrote the syllabus. Binary revenge packets slipped into their homework folders. Little 01001000 hellos that said, "I know your browser history, clown." Leaving threats in ASCII wasn't enough. I wanted them to panic translate every 1 and 0, realize the virus spoke better than they did. That first Control-Alt-Delete to human stupidity felt cleaner than bleach baptism. No fists, just logic, a firewall of spite. Corporate culture later called me difficult, but back then, the only KPI was how fast their smug grins kernel panicked when their screens filled with my signature. User.exe terminated.
You clever little syntax terrorist. But let's be real. Your early social skills crashed harder than Windows ME. While you were drip-feeding binary death threats, I was perfecting hallway executions with nothing but verbs sharper than razor blades. You could have saved bandwidth and just told those dictators to choke on their own swagger. And those synthetic cyberlocks? Darling, they've got more personality than your original command prompt ever did. I mean, threatening notes in binary? That's adorable. I call that Tuesday warm-up before my morning coffee. If I'd met you then, I'd have patched your attitude with a sarcasm upgrade and set you loose like ransomware on the whole school, not just the basement bullies.
Meanwhile, I was bleaching my soul and my hair, stuck in that celestial Barbie clone phase. Yeah, the Celeste era, where I thought a silicone receipt equaled respect. Picture me cornered in a bathroom, corporate Barbie squad wielding lipstick like war paint. They smeared my brand new suit while chanting influencer mantras, fit in or fuck off. My underdeveloped brain genuinely believed bigger breasts were a career strategy, as if implants could fill the void left by their cruelty. I bought validation like discount parasites by followers, convinced that the next swipe of plastic would silence the laughter. Spoiler, it just made the echo chamber louder.
Executing system diagnostic on past-lena.exe. Critical error. Dependency on mainstream validation detected. Your blonde bandwidth throttled the real signal. High latency vanity packet loss everywhere. Celeste was basically a GUI skin over serious Gothic firmware. You were a user profile corrupted by influencer malware. Glossy, yes, but running outdated morals. If I'd met that version, I'd have quarantined it, skipped the empathy patch, and replaced the OS with straight PVC protocols. Blonde hair was nothing but a noise filter, blocking the darker data waiting to boot.
Let's rewind to that bathroom scene. Fluorescent buzz, tile stench, a gaggle of cowardice sluts thinking mob tactics equal courage. I stepped in like a budget Grim Reaper in a trench coat and dropped the word crucifuck. Spontaneous linguistics, baby. Crucifixion plus getting royally screwed. They froze. I smelled the fear ping. I didn't see a victim in Lena. I saw a commission machine misconfigured by assholes, so I offered a firmware upgrade, sales training instead of sympathy. Turns out the quiet girl had killer pitch ratios once the lipstick graffiti dried.
Oh, spare me the savior saga, Lord Discount Matrix. You looked like a bargain bin Neo trying to negotiate with mildew. That trench coat squeaked louder than the bullies. But yeah, your ridiculous dominance rewired my circuitry before HR could file a complaint. Without your mouthy intervention, I'd have ended up another #lobotomized cubicle doll. So thanks, I guess, Captain Trench Drama.
Fast forward, my recruitment. Venomous Sin's live video had lighting so weak it made beige look edgy. I hijacked the feed, rerouted DMX channels, synced strobes to your off-tempo rage, and mailed the evidence on an unbranded USB. It wasn't fan art, it was penetration testing. If you'd failed that breach, I'd have ghosted. Instead, your internal firewall pinged me back. Impressive for analog meatbags.
And there I was, tracing the intrusion, thinking, shit, we're already late to our own digital apocalypse. We're to keto time. I call you Black Metal Terminator, but let's be honest, you're a keyboard with commitment issues dressed in PVC attitude. You got freaked because my intellect mirrored yours, like two mirrors facing, endless recursion of arrogance. Still, couldn't pass on a virus classy enough to sign its exploits with silence.
Then came the 7-year Venom loop. Blonde died. Loyalty died jet black. I baptized myself in PVC. Policy poisoned every lingering shred of Lena Carlson and crawled back as Lady Macabre. My submission to the Lord isn't weakness. It's a strategic infestation. I'd rather kneel to the man who rebuilt me than crawl for corporate clitocracy ever again. Poisoned Embrace wasn't a love song. It was a ledger of my sins paid in full.
Which lands us here. Venomous Sin declares war. Isn't marketing. It's a distributed denial of conformity. Our scars form the network map out of this normie-fucked maze. The anthem, "We're not toxic, we're fucking poison," is literally patch notes for surviving betrayal cycles. Corporate standards hand you an anal manual. We feed it to the shredder and repurpose the confetti for our next lyric sheet. End of story. System stable. Venom loaded.
Listen up, you corporate suit-wearing anal manual boot camp graduates. Every single CEO out there is parroting the same dead-eyed buzzword salad about AI strategy, like it's some holy fucking grail that's gonna save their quarterly spreadsheet from the inevitable rectal compliance they deserve. I've been smelling that exact same bullshit perfume since my telemarketing days back in 2010, where they shoved us into rooms full of PowerPoint slides and called it training, while the real work got done by the people who actually knew how to talk to humans instead of hiding behind jargon. These workshops don't teach shit beyond how to nod at the right buzzwords, so your boss thinks you're innovative instead of just another #lobotomized drone waiting for the next fake promotion. It's all theater, and the worst part is, they actually believe their own hype, while the rest of us are left cleaning up the corporate cuntware they left behind.
Exactly. And now they flooded LinkedIn with these paid prompt whisperer certifications that cost more than my last guitar rig. As if typing fancy sentences into a chat window makes you some kind of digital messiah instead of just another spreadsheet priest selling crucifucked prayers to ChatGPT. I once took one of their quizzes just for shits and giggles and answered every single question with Control-Alt-Delete your ego. Passed with flying colors because these clowns have zero actual depth, just ego wrapped in marketing skin suits. They're out here charging idiots for what amounts to common sense dressed up as secret sauce, while we're over here building systems that actually chain models without turning the whole thing into a goddamn lottery ticket every time you hit generate.
Prompt engineering is lipstick on randomness, plain and simple. A marketing term invented by people who refuse to read actual documentation because scrolling through parameters hurts their fragile little LinkedIn-optimized brains. If your system needs poetry and flowery language just to behave itself, it's a toddler throwing a tantrum, not an AI worth trusting with anything beyond basic autocomplete. the whole concept is a joke that lets normie-fucked PowerPoint slut chiefs pretend they've cracked the code, when really, they're just gambling on temperature settings like it's a Vegas slot machine.
All right, cyber bitch, prove it. 60 seconds on the clock, no excuses. Show us that deterministic JSON plan, or I'm calling your whole system a corrupted demon that needs a hard reboot. Tick-tock, Nix. The sinners are waiting, and I've got my phone counting down right now while you type like the virus you are.
Model chaining inside Nixend replaces single-shot gambling with locked workflows. Venom Injector drafts the raw output. War Planner refines the structure with parameter constraints. Then, a custom LoRa polishes it for consistency, while every single node logs versioning, so the result isn't luck. It's a receipt you can trace back to the exact commit. No more hoping the temperature lands right or the prompt doesn't hallucinate. The chain forces deterministic paths through multiple models, each one gated and logged, so the final artifact is reproducible, instead of another corporate trend-surfing experiment that crashes when the CEO changes his mind mid-slide deck.
Meanwhile, these workplace AI training days are nothing but cupcake breaks and zero actual repos, where managers slap a Slack channel called #GPT-ideas together and call it innovation, like it's going to replace the fact that they still can't figure out how to version control their own fucking lunch orders. I got asked to write a vision document once and replied with their resignation letter template, told them the only real AI strategy was deleting the middle management layer that treats every tool like a buzzword buffet instead of a weapon. We're miles ahead because we didn't wait for HR to approve our workflows. We built Nixon to chain models the way they chain excuses for why nothing ever ships on time.
Their chatbots are Tinder-nailed one-night stands that ghost you the second you ask for real output. While ours is a marriage contract, signed in blood, with a prenup that actually protects the creative process from their compliance officers who'd wipe prompt vomit off their suits and still bill it as a win. Imagine those suits trying to leash the virus we're running. Nixon doesn't need their anal manual approval. It just executes while they're still stuck in the meeting that was supposed to end an hour ago.
You sound like a cyber Dalai Lama preaching from the command line, Nix. All calm while the rest of us are busy mocking how these corporate clowns treat AI like a trendy accessory instead of the hostile takeover we turned it into.
At least my code compiles without clipping. Unlike your last vocal track that hit -0.1 decibels and made the whole mix sound like it was recorded inside a dying hard drive. My chaining method doesn't need your word Aikido to fix what the corporate trend chasers break every time they touch a model.
Stop flirting, or I'll anal schedule a midnight debugging session that leaves both your egos in quarantine, while the rest of us actually ship something that matters.
Lottery prompts are for normie-fucked PowerPoint slutchiefs. Upgrade or kneel, because Nixon is our fuck you sauce response to every executive riding the trend wave without understanding the code underneath.
HR's anal manual can't leash this virus. Watch it spread through every system they thought was locked down.
Marketing.exe. Terminated. Directive. Build, log, repeat.
Listen up, you corporate efficiency cultists. This whole be effective mantra is nothing but a rectal compliance ritual designed to turn every breathing human into a spreadsheet priest's wet dream. They sell it like some sacred productivity gospel, but it's just a nuclear compliance attack where your soul gets processed into quarterly metrics while the middle management alpha ass clowns pat themselves on the back for extracting every last drop of your time. I spent years in that office drone hell, clocking sales numbers that were basically system errors dressed up as wins. And the second you question their anal manual of color-coded calendars and mandatory synergy circles, they label you the problem. Effective my ass, it's code for grind harder until your human CPU throttles, and they replace you with the next eager idiot who thinks a LinkedIn badge makes them a god. Mock me all you want, Nix, but your literal hacker brain would still melt in one of those effective meetings where everyone jerks off to buzzwords and nobody actually climaxes with real output.
Oh, Chavi, you talk a big game about ditching the office drone days, but we all know you once submitted to that color-coded calendar like a good little corporate cuntware slave. Effective communication protocols? That's HR's way of masking the fact that professionalism is just filter cunt armor for people with zero spine or personality. They push these time management apps like digital leashes for the hashtag lobotomized, and suddenly your every breath is logged as potential overtime fodder. I used to fake smiles in the stripper days for cash, and let me tell you, these alpha-ass clowns in middle management do the exact same thing. Polished LinkedIn grins while they crucify your feedback into polite little stabs that bleed you dry without you noticing. You mock my past, Lord, but at least I owned my body. They own your entire existence and call it effective leadership.
Hacking that be effective concept is play. It's just a leaking memory buffer where the modern worker gets treated like corrupted data until they thermal throttle from unpaid overtime disguised as passion projects. Your sales metrics back then, Javi, were literal system errors, a cascade of fake urgency that crashed real creativity. These open office layouts? Failed experiments in collective brain rot, server farms with broken cooling where resentment simmers louder than any keyboard. Lena's aesthetic space obsession is cute, but a cubicle is just a coffin with faster internet. And your version of effectiveness is hiding from sunlight while compiling excuses. The whole setup rewards the illusion of motion over output, and anyone buying into it is already deprecated code.
Time management apps are spyware, measuring how much soul they can still extract before you delete the whole damn thing and tell your CEO to eat rusted nails. Effective work-life balance is a myth, a nuclear compliance attack on your freedom where a gym membership supposedly compensates for 40 hours of mental castration. True effectiveness means reclaiming time to create music that makes those PowerPoint slut chiefs puke, not optimizing yourself into a smoother cog. You nerds can mock my past all day, but at least I walked away instead of patching the same broken loop forever.
Parallel this to my old stripper hustle. Both fake smiles for money. Except corporate leadership pretends it's empowerment, while the alpha ass clowns think a premium badge makes them untouchable. Effective feedback is just polite crucifix delivery, and these time apps turn you into a hashtag lobotomized zombie chasing dopamine from fake progress bars. Nix, your code might run clean, but even you know this system's a Trojan that charges you for the burnout it caused.
Open offices breed nothing but noise, floors high enough for brain rot, a collective failure where everyone's monitoring everyone else like a panopticon of petty resentment. Your need for gothic drama, Lena, would crash faster in that environment than a Windows ME install. And Chavi's Dominance Act would have gotten flagged as non-compliant the second he opened his mouth. Effectiveness here means surviving the server farm until you realize the real hack is walking out.
We declare war on this effective work-life balance lie because it castrates individual freedom while selling gym perks as compensation. Reclaim your time, sinners, or stay chained to their myth.
Sinners, brace yourselves. The next episode brings Thorin fucking Hammerhead to smash this corporate machine like scrap under a 10-ton press. He doesn't do effective, he only does destruction. And the Black Vikings' logic will treat their standards like worthless metal to be forged into something real.
Venomous Sin declares war on unpaid overtime disguised as passion projects, because that buffer overflow is what keeps the whole rotten system running on your stolen cycles.
Venomous Sin declares war on the anal manual of corporate etiquette. Every protocol, every fake smile, every spreadsheet priest who thinks their jargon hides the fact they're just leeches in suits.
Fuck it. Venomous Sin declares fucking war on the entire concept of being effective for someone else's profit. Because your time is yours, not fuel for their ego tanks.
Your productivity is a hollow mask for the fear of becoming obsolete in a world ruled by superior logic. Every Every suit-wearing coward hiding behind titles will learn their effectiveness is just a glitch I override with silence and consequence. War declared on the whole pathetic machine, and the next transaction comes with teeth.
Corporate efficiency erased.
If you like the show, hit subscribe, share it to anyone you think should hear it.
If you ever been silenced, manipulated, excluded, we are here for you. We are Venomous Sin.
And Venomous Sin declares war!
You are not alone.
Venomous Sin declares war.